Hey, good evening. It's 7:18 p.m. It is April 4th, and I am back with another video. And so I was thinking, on April 1st, because I do miss the April Fool's jokes that I used to play on people, I was going to do something silly on my channel, but then I was like, okay, no. I always have to constantly remind myself, okay, maybe not everybody gets my jokes, even though I think they're hilariously funny. And I think part of the humor or the joy that I find is like the weird looks on people's faces when I come up with weird stuff to say, because that's just part of it. I used to always like do things to exasperate my mom. Make up jokes, and she's like, I don't want to hear it. And just her saying that would make me like giggle and laugh. So I think people who've always known me know that I have an upbeat personality, and I'm pretty much known for that. So it is kind of strange when people see me in this like gloom state. And I have been in a gloom state for quite a while. And I've talked about this on my channel before, and I've never meant to talk about these things on my channel, because really my channel is supposed to be exclusively about the paranormal and of course history and unsolved mysteries, stories that I want to dig up. Like there's one story that I want to cover that inspired me as a kid. Not that it inspired me because I thought this woman was somebody I wanted to follow, but the study of this particular person intrigued me as a kid, and this would be Ma Barker. But I will come back with a video on that, and I do. I mean, I have really good video ideas, but I think this drain has limited me, and I'm kind of swallowed up by it. And it is difficult sometimes to get over, mainly because of, number one, the main reason is because I do lack the support system. And what I mean by that is when you're dealing with human trafficking, gang stalking, or whatever, it is a covert operation. So you're not going to be able to have conversations that are going to be of any benefit or going to validate you or anything. So you have to deal with a lot of stuff on your own. And that sometimes gets to me. And there's days where I do my best to overcome it. This last weekend, like on Sunday, I spent a lot of time in meditation, because I'm like asking myself, what is it that I need in life to be happy? And number one is the most important thing in life is I need my freedom. Freedom to me is more important than anything, and I don't like being in situations where I have to justify myself. And I would say that the bullying that went on in the last few years, actually longer than that, but it like just intensified to where it just got ridiculous, went on. And no one likes the feeling of being monitored or being scrutinized. And I certainly am not one of those people. I appreciate my freedoms. I have started picking up some of my hobbies that I used to do and used to love, mainly because I stopped doing them when I was living in with my son. Mainly because I was just consumed with major anxiety. And I will say that there has been improvement in my overall behavior. Like there was a time where I was just like extreme anxiety, because it causes so much nervousness, so much like fear. And the fear is like if somebody has the ability to destroy your life, destroy your reputation, destroy your career, it feels like they have some sort of entitlement to dictate your life, your personal life, that becomes extremely disturbing to an individual. And I had mentioned that these sort of behavior tactics, or I would say bullying tactics, have been acted out on certain experiments. And there's like government experiments I'm talking about, and you can do this sort of research online if you want to. And then there's a couple people who've written books about this issue. And I will say the effects on a person is very, very traumatic. So I try not to be too hard on myself about what went on in my life. And some people would say, I don't see what the big deal is. Well, the big deal is that it's like an over how can I say it? Like an over intense fear, feelings of like this awakening. Like, you know, I remember the people that I used to know as people that maybe I laughed and talked with, whatever. I never expected people to betray me like that and then want to consume so much of my life and felt like there was just no end to what these people were trying to take from me. And that is extremely disturbing, okay, to an individual. And if you experience it yourself, then you would know what I'm talking about. If you have no idea, then, you know, it's hard to say or relate. But, you know, human trafficking is something that devastates a lot of people. And I would say that because of there's different varieties of human trafficking, that people tend to kind of overlook or maybe not belittle, but more like undermine another person who's dealing with human trafficking, because in their mind, human trafficking only relates to people who are being shoved in vehicles and being carted across the county or state lines or whatever. There's different forms of human trafficking, and either way, it's a form of slavery, basically, because you're basically being hollowed out, or somebody's putting some sort of force around you to make you act against your will. And so nothing that you do that is involved in your life is really your will. You're miserable. I remember I was miserable when they had me out there in Buttonwillow. I was miserable when I was around certain neighbors. I was miserable, or whatever, you know what I mean? And it's not something that you would choose yourself, you know? And that was a lot on me, okay? I feel like things have gotten better, you know, but, you know, there are days where, you know, it springs up, you know, or something triggers you or whatever, and that's life, you know. I do the best I can to work through it, but I do know that in my life, what I need in order for me to be a fully functional human being like any person, what some people in other countries fight for, die for, you know, is their freedom. And I live here in the United States, and, you know, I resent, like, when I used to go out for walks, and, you know, people would stop and say stuff, and I knew that it was like I was being perked or whatever, and I didn't, you know, the thing is that what I do in my life, if it's me doing arts and crafts, if I choose to collect baby dolls or stuffed animals, it's because these are things that bring me joy. And I think, you know, when you are I'm not naive, because I understand people talk, people speculate or whatever, but I don't like it when people speculate about things that I have no knowledge of. Okay, like I literally had no idea what was going on behind the scenes of my targeting until just recently. And, you know, I think people think that my actions or my behavior is attributed to certain individuals or whatever. And no way, no. I do like to have my enjoyments in life. My enjoyment in life is, number one, arts and crafts, singing. What else do I like? Do sewing. What else do I do to release my frustration? Oh, you know, I'm starting to work on a little garden. I just bought like a garden stand for my little patio, and I'm going to be putting that out there. And I'm not really great at this sort of stuff, but I'm starting to like to work more with plants, and I feel as though plants are more connected to me. Like I remember when I was younger, I would like buy plants, or somebody would gift me a plant, and that plant would just die, like because I had so much anger and tense, you know, nervousness inside me. And of course, I have a lot more mental problems now because of all the trafficking. But there's more of a kind person, I think, inside of me, to where like I'm extremely empathetic, you know. And so I don't know. I think, you know, the plants tend to like me now, and now I'm happy, you know. So I do enjoy my hobbies, and I do miss going out for walks. You know what I mean? And I resented them, like, you know, bullying me to try to gain weight or whatever. The thing is that, you know, I think people need to find the kind of people that they want in their life, you know. And, you know, some people, they want to go out, and they want to eat, they want to do these sort of things, they want to, I don't know, they have different interests. You know, they might be completely opposite of mine. Maybe they don't like arts and crafts. Maybe they like I don't know, roller hockey or something like that, then those are the people that they need to gravitate to. It's when you think that you could, or you try to bully people into being something that they're not. And I'm going to tell you, there's nothing appealing that would, make me want to be that way. Or make me want to, give up my hobbies, or, stop going out for walks, or, stop liking clothes, or, that to me is, those are the things that I gravitate to escape the misery in life. And I think there's a lot of misery in life. Like, just about everything that we can think of brings us misery. Because to me, like I said, in my belief, I believe that life on earth is hell. It's total hell. Okay, so it's up to us as individuals to decide what gives us small pleasures in life. And these are the things that give me pleasure in life. You know what I mean? Honestly, I can't tell you that, do I believe that devoting myself to individuals in like some form of some sort of altruism or something is going to be something that's fulfilling to me, and I'm going to say no. It's not that I'm not charitable in any way. It's not that. It's just that, when you give, to me, I think love and giving are very sacred things. And I don't believe that they should be given to people who don't deserve it. I am very selective about who I even help. You know what I mean? And to me, if somebody has shown indifference to an individual, it doesn't make sense for you to give your all when they have no intentions of giving you anything. You know what I mean? So I believe that in my life, friendships, as rare, or I should say non-existent in my life, are but they are very unusual. Like, a true friend is very unusual. You will be surprised how easy it is to have people turn against you for any reason. You know what I mean? And they do it mainly because of herd mentality. It brings social inclusion into their lives, whatever. But people do not have very high standards, and they certainly don't have the ability to uphold another human being. And most people don't even uphold and respect themselves. You know what I mean? And it's quite apparent in society, and I totally acknowledge it, and I'm fully aware of it. And I see that there's a lot of problems the way that people live, and the sort of judgment or lack of judgment that they have. And I'm the kind of person, I've been standing back for the longest time observing what's around me, and I realize, I don't want this sort of stuff in my life. I feel as though this should be different. And I'm not trying to impose my views on the world in any way. This is my channel. But this is a part of my story as to, this is what people wanted me to do, and this is what I fight against. I don't believe in this sort of lifestyle. You know what I mean? And what I mean by lifestyle is having fake friends, gossiping about other people, trying to bully people, or trying to, assert my agendas on other people. You know what I mean? I have very strong views, you know what I mean? And my views are important to me. And I think maybe, some people may have belittled my views, and they can do that. This is the beauty about this country. You don't have to have my views, and I certainly don't have to have yours either. You know what I mean? And I do have my rights, you know what I mean? And I appreciate those, but I don't like that. And I think what it is inside me that I feel is that I feel that I always feel like, what's the point of anything in my life, because of, am I always going to have to live a life with jokers and clowns who think that they can just, bombard me with their bullshit, or they feel entitled to be a part of my life when I don't want them to be. You know what I mean? It's that sort of stuff that demoralizes me and makes me feel very unhappy all the way around. I don't, I think, when I was younger, and I've always been more energetic, and I love being energetic, and I'm sad that I feel as though, my sunny disposition, is something that, they wanted to squash out, mainly because perps don't like you, intermingling with people because they want to have complete and total control over you. This is one of the signs of human trafficking, the kind of human trafficking that happens and gets played out on in front of your face, and you don't tend to think about it as much because, like I said, you're used to thinking of the human trafficking of people being carted out. But what it is extreme, like extreme control that they want. And if they feel as though that if you're talking or communicating or even laughing with people, then you're fitting in too much and you're assimilating too much. And if you do that, then people might have empathy for you. And if they have empathy for you, then they'll become your friends and they might be your support system. And they don't want you to have one. You see what I'm saying? They don't want you to have a support, and they want 100 complete total control of everything that you do. So your friends, they infiltrate that. They do this, they do that, and it gets to be too much. You know what I mean? And I'm the kind of person, in my life, I seek sincerity. You know what I mean? If somebody like myself, who likes to joke, who likes to, to live, I appreciate the small things in life. And I will say that the things that bring me joy is not really people, but it's things that I do that I enact in my mind. And I think about it in my mind, and then I'm able to put it into fruition, like whether that be creating a small piece of amateur art, or maybe making a plant grow, or something along those lines. But these little things that are what brings me the most joy in life, And I feel like when somebody does something like that to you, to me, it's not only shocking, it's disturbing. And I think when people realize that people that are involved in it, they think, well, you're making a big deal. It's only your blah, 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 blah. The shock comes from, the shock and the disturbance, the mental anguish comes from the fact that, yes, these people who I used to know did do this, and I did not think that they were ever capable of being that goddamn evil. Okay? That's the way it is. So it's a lot of it literally feels like somebody just put a bunch of shards of glass in my brain. Because if you remember, I'm a very intuitive person, and not only are my thoughts very powerful and deep, they almost manifest on a physical level. That's how deep it is. That's why I don't like to overthink things, you know what I mean? Because it can have me reeling for days. I have a very strong mind power, and sometimes, and I'm grateful for it, but I will tell you, it can be my worst enemy sometimes, So anyway, I know what I need in life, you know what I mean? It's just that you don't understand, what it's like to deal with something like that, and dealing with something like that, to have to justify anything that you want to do when I live in a country where I'm not supposed to have to do that. These are my freedoms, for God's sake, And I, at 52 years old, I am not interested in explaining myself to anyone. So anyway, I need intensity. I need passion, and when I say passion, I'm not talking about a romantic love relationship. I'm talking about I want to regain the passion and enthusiasm for life that I used to have. That's what I want. And it's very hard to do when you think that, there's always some weird person who's out there, some weird religious idiot that thinks that they can impose their bullshit on me, their nonsensical bullshit on me. And don't ever bring religion into it. And don't try to suck me in with your religious gobbledygook. Because I've been studying religion since I was a kid. This is one of the reasons why I am the way I am. So I'm not going to fall for that bullshit, okay? I'm not going to do it. Anyway, I need intensity. I need to reignite the spark of life in me, the magic in me, and this is who I am, and I need to find it quickly. Wrapping up this video. Be back with another video sometime later. Bye-bye.